So here are some significant global events that have happened within the last 48 hours. And today is July 9th, 2026. And the first thing to point out is what this post says is that the EU mandates dystopian in-car cameras to monitor every driver's face. And here is a photo where you see every person inside the vehicle is on camera. But I want you to pay attention to this word right here, mandates. It's not an option. So any car that is going to be new over in the EU is going to have this in its system. It's not optional, it's mandatory. Just think about that. Let that sink in for a second. So now not only are we carrying a camera around with us in our pocket because of our phone, but now there's going to be cameras all over the place in our cars and also on the streets with flock and all that kind of stuff as well. And also over in the EU, the European Parliament has just voted in favor of ending freedom of speech. The EU will now crush citizens' privacy pushed through chat control. Brussels will be able to massively scan private messages and legalize the monitoring of citizens' communications. Now, to kind of touch on this for a second, they're doing it under the guise of child safety. They are doing this to protect the children because of, child predators and whatnot. And so they're going to package it like that, but you see where this is headed. They say it's one thing, it's for one thing, but really it's just for monitoring and making sure that they know your every move.
Something big is happening right now, and I think the accelerationists, like all these globalists that are the leaders of our country somehow, through some strange plan, I feel like their 2030 agenda, they realised people were starting to notice things, so they're just going to accelerate it as quickly as possible. So this is just one thing, but have a look at this other one as well. Andy Burnham has confirmed that he will introduce restrictions on VPNs under his leadership. Tech Secretary Liz Kendall has said that Andy is committed to keeping kids safe online and has been vocal in the support of age restrictions for kids using social media. Hey, VPNs are fully illegal in Belarus, Iraq, North Korea, and Turkmenistan. They're only restricted in China, Russia, Iran, Myanmar, Oman, Pakistan, Turkey, and the UAE. Isn't that strange? But don't worry, we're going to be doing that because keeping the kids protected, even on a VPN, you actually have to pay a monthly subscription. So you're going to be an adult. But have a look at this one as well. At the same time, the EU has announced that every citizen will soon require a digital passport to access the internet. They have explicitly stated that the new verification system cannot be bypassed by VPN. They will have complete control over everything you do online and everything you see online. I think we need to just go ham. I think it's time. It's time. People need to fucking go off. But I don't know, because we're just all going to sit there like they're destroying our countries in front of our faces and rubbing it in, and now they're just going to be taking away your rights.
They're proposing that all new electronic devices, smartphones that you might have in this country, have a filter on where the government can monitor every single one of your posts that you put out there. I think they call it user end coordination or something. It sounds a bit innocuous, but effectively that enables them to block things in your phone before you've even tweeted them. I think this is completely sinister. And when combined with the rules that came out today on political party funding, which basically were targeted to challenge reform and stop them getting donations, this is a cynical government trying to stack political funding.
Finishes that off there with saying they're trying to put everything in their favour, push the narrative out there, so that's the only narrative that you're going to listen to. And anyone that opposes them, they don't want that. That's just going to go. Kind of feel like some people are getting that now. Do you know what I mean? We spoke about it many a times, but how's that fair? How's that freedom of speech? Do you remember the Keir Starmer, we're proud of our free speech in the White House in front of millions of people and the president? No, we don't remember that. All right, that's fine then. How is that fair? And that guy in the middle will criticise next, saying, it's a disgusting platform. He says it. Most of them, the MPs use it. Keir Starmer uses it. He's been fact-checked more than anybody. Rachel Reed, they're all using it. But the only thing you don't like is the things that go against your narrative. Why not just say as it is? I don't like things I see on there that I don't agree with. I see lots of things on there that I don't agree with. But first of all, I would never go into someone's comment section and start, saying absolutely horrendous things some people do that, you know. That's, you know, I don't think that is freedom of speech, but it is in a way. But to start censoring and monitoring your tweets and your posts, what you're putting out, that's on next level.
Shalom, back again with another lesson. And before I begin this lesson, I'd like to begin by first giving all honor, glory, and praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechakodash. I want to give double honors to my elders and apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone, who rule well, who I've learned this truth from. I want to say peace and salutations to you, Akim, you brothers out there laboring, pushing this word out in all truth and in sincerity, presenting your bodies as a living sacrifice, which is your reasonable service. I want to say shalom to you, Akwath, meaning you Israelite sisters that may be listening, and also to you Israelites that are scattered across the four corners of the earth. You may look like these other nations, but your seed line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which is the chosen seed line. Shalom. So as we saw from the video that I played, or the videos that I played at the start of this lesson, you know, you see how Esau is tightening that net. Esau is squeezing and he's trying to monitor and track everybody, right? So you have these people that are a bit cautious, that they say, oh, I don't want to be tracked. Like Esau's already got that covered, right? There's going to be nothing that you can do or nowhere you can go that this man ain't tracking you, right? He wants to pretty much get inside your, you know, your mind and see what's going on and control you in every single possible way, in every aspect, right? So you see how in the video it was saying about how he wants to track you while you're in your vehicle, and all the vehicles in the future are going to be required. It's going to be mandatory that all vehicles have these internal camera systems set up so that they can monitor you as you're driving, right? You know, you already have your smartphone, which they track you on, even though they say they can't do it. Trust me, the whole reason that they have cameras built into these smartphones is just so that they can track you, right? Now, another thing that you have to understand is that they're changing the laws to allow it to the point where they can just track you and do what they want to do. You know, because the whole entire goal is to get you on that digital system or that biometric system, so they can control your movements, control what you're watching, control what you're listening to. They want control of everything. They want to be able to put you in that cage. And these are the things, these prophecies that we've told you before, and we've let you know that this is what they're getting ready to do. This is what they've been planning to do. And now we're seeing it become more and more live and direct. You know, we can see that these things are coming, right? So in the scriptures, we're going to go to the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, and we'll start at verse 2. Actually, I'll start at verse 1, right? So this is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1, and it reads, I will stand upon my watch, and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved, right? So as watchmen, you know, you read in the book of Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter, and it goes into the fact that the Lord has set up a watchman to watch out for these prophecies. And when these prophecies come, it's almost like a watchman standing on a tower, and he's looking over the horizon to see if danger's coming. And if you spot the danger, the job of the watchman is to warn the people, ring the alarm bells, say, look, there's trouble up ahead. And now this is what the men of the Lord have been doing this whole time. When the Lord, you know, put in the prophecies and you know, put it in the scriptures, you know, keep an eye open for when these times come, and then warn the people, right? So it says, I will stand upon my watch, and set me upon the tower, and I will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord Yahweh answered me, and said, write the vision, and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. So when, you know, you get the visions or the prophecies are revealed to the prophets, they would write it down in the scriptures and say, look, this is for an appointed time. You know, the Lord told me to write this down. This is the prophecy. These are the way that the Lord is speaking to his prophets, right? And it says, and the Lord answered me, the Lord Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. So the running, it's not necessarily, you know, putting your shoes on and taking off, running down the road. It's talking about, you know, preparing yourself, like seek the Lord, coming to the Lord, you know, and understanding what it is that is required of you and what you need to do. You know what I mean? To prepare yourself, right? To repent, you know, and pray that the Lord has mercy on you, so you receive salvation in these times that you're about to head into, right? It says verse 3 says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." Right? So the time is for an appointed time. So we understand that, you know, these prophecies that we're seeing, you know, the grid being locked down, the RFID microchip, brain chip, Jacob's trouble, all these things are prophesied to take place at a specific time, an appointed time. And now we're getting close to it. You understand? It says, though it tarry, because over the years we've been saying that these times are getting ready to come. And a lot of people look at it like, well, you keep saying this is going to happen, and it hasn't happened yet. So it says, though it tarry, meaning delays, though it tarry, wait for it. It will surely come. It will not tarry, meaning it's not going to delay any longer. These prophecies are going to start coming thick and fast, right? Verse 4, it says, "Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith." So the Edomites, the elites that are in control right now, you know, mainly these Edomites and these other nations, are all coming together to incorporate this digital biometric system, the beast system. They're putting that in place, and you can see every time one of these articles come out, one of these posts come out on social media, or you read an online article, is always pointing to something that's going on, that the earth is moving forward in the plans to lock everybody down 2030, just like that man said in the video that I played at the start of this lesson, right? So it said, "Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him," because he's not a right person. This guy wants to basically put the whole earth in slavery. That's what this guy is looking to do. It says, "But the just shall live by his faith." So the men of the Lord and the hopeful elect, the elect out there, we understand that we have to live by faith. We have to, you know, hold on to this faith and be strong in our faith, and stay close to it and not cast it aside, you know? As it says in the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 2, starting from the beginning, verse 1, right? So we live by our faith. You know, we're going to have to rely on some heavy faith in the days ahead, you know, because this thing is going to get bad, right? Matter of fact, let me just quickly go to the book of Daniel chapter 12, right? Because it says, I'm going to go to Daniel chapter 12, and we're going to start at verse 1, right? So it says, and at the, this is Daniel chapter 12, verse 1, it says, "And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book." Now that's talking about the elect, you see. So the elect, they're the ones that are going to be found written in the book, right? But it says, "And at that time shall Michael stand up." Michael is the chief archangel, you know. He's the one that's going to be standing up to protect the people during the time of Jacob's trouble. So let's just quickly go there to bring that out, right? So this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, verse 7. And it reads, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." You see? So the he that is referring to is the elect of Israel. They're going to go through these trials, these troubles, this time of trouble. The elect are going to go through that. But ultimately, the chosen, the Lord is going to deliver them through. They're going to have to go through rough times, but the Lord's going to deliver them ultimately in the end, right? So we go back to the book of Habakkuk. And I ain't going to make this a long lesson. I'm going to close it out shortly. I just wanted to, because I saw these clips, I just wanted to bring, you know, the clips out, and then obviously read a few scriptures into that as well. So we're going to read back in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 5. And it says, "Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine." Right? So this is talking about these Edomites. These Edomites is the he that is referring to there. And when it says transgressive by wine, these are his philosophies. He transgresses by the philosophies that he pushes out into the earth, you know. He transgressive by pushing out the LGBT agenda, his ultimate agenda is conquering all these lands, taking over them, right? But it says, yet also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, and ain't no one more proud than Esau Edom, and the nation of these Edomites, right? Nobody's more proud than them, right? It says, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death. And this is what he does. This is what he's known for. He goes throughout the four corners of the earth. He goes into other people's lands. He takes over their resources. He is as death, right? He goes around just conquering and colonizing countries and taking their resources. And death, wherever he goes, death follows him, right? Because it says, he enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. This guy's just going to keep going, right? That's why right now he's trying to colonize and lock down the whole entire planet. He's trying to put everybody in slavery, and the people that don't get down with him, what follows. Death follows. That's what's in store for them. It says he cannot be satisfied. It says, but he gathereth unto him. But gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. You see. So this is what he wants. He wants total control of the entire planet. And through these posts on social media, you get them every so often. And it just goes to show you that this is who this is talking about. These people, right? Let me get another scripture in the book of Job. This is the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Right? That's a rhetorical question. This is the Edomites that it's referring to here. You see? These are the people, the wicked. The wicked of the earth are these Edomites. You see? Right, so when we go back over to the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, we're going to read in verse 6, right? We'll read this last verse, and then we'll close it out there, right? But this is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 6. It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay, right? So these Edomites are constantly going around the world, taking over people's resources, gaining riches by deceit, doing all these things. You can see how Donald Trump is in the White House bullying these other nations, saying, we're going to take over Greenland, we're going to take over Cuba, we're going to make this ours, we're going to take this. The Gulf of Mexico is now the Gulf of America. He's always these Edomites are constantly taking what's not theirs, right? And then they bully the lands and the countries that won't get down with them. You know what I mean? So it's like, woe unto him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? How long is this going to be allowed to happen? But it's not going to be for long, because the Lord's getting ready to take these people down. You see? Right? It says, and to him that ladeth himself with thick clay, right? So he's laying on top of himself more and more and more debt, right? So America's in so much debt, they'll never be able to pay it all off, right? I think 32 trillion is the last number that I remember. It could be a lot higher than that. And I know that the number keeps climbing, right? So Donald Trump recently passed a bill that allows him to increase the debt ceiling, basically. You see? So these Edomites, they ain't got long left to rule. Their time is almost up, and we're seeing the signs. We pray for his downfall, the Edomite downfall. I'm going to leave it there. I pray that this lesson has been edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to my elders and apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who do rule well and taught me this truth. I want to say peace and salutations to you hopeful elect, and it's on to the next lesson, Lord willing. Shalom.